Hey, bye, Thomas here. So it's been a little bit slow going. Work, everything. I know it's been literally, I think it's been over a week now since I last posted my last video. That was with the water oak log. I started filming a video yesterday, and then again, as usual, as you can see in the distance, we had afternoon thunderstorms pop up. So that video kind of got scratched because I was, really didn't get the message across that I was going to show. So what I had to say is I went to the hardware store yesterday morning. I bought 10 sheets of tin. I got 7 sheets up yesterday. And then this morning, I went ahead and put up these couple rafters on this side. And the way I'm able to do that, it's hard to see, but I actually made like a little temporary little bridge here. Yes, and it looks kind of like, shady. I didn't, butt everything up against it, but that's my little bridge to allow me to work on putting across my rafters up top there. With that rain that came yesterday, we did keep a lot of things dry, so it was really nice actually having a dry space for once out here in the shop. But yeah, that's the progress on that thus far. And I've got some temporary bracing up there on top. I'm gonna have to come back through. I haven't figured out yet what kind of wood I'm gonna use. I'm probably gonna use what I have around, which would be this oak, but my goodness, that oak's so heavy and it's hard to cut. I might end up using pine or cedar. I haven't made that out yet. So, but today, I'm going to go ahead and do a time-lapse video to show you. Yesterday, I was cutting on a pine log. And Mr. Robert popping up with a trailer so we can pick up some more stuff. But I got a pine log that was on here yesterday. And today, I'm working on this giant cedar. Now, this cedar here, pretty fancy stuff. He was asking me where I wanted the trailer. But this is going to be pretty nice. Down here at the bottom, I do have some soft spots, which I think I don't think it protrudes all the way through the log, so I think I can get a mantle out of the bottom section. But leading up to there, I'm going to get a couple of real nice slabs. I'll probably do an 1.5 inch slab here, or maybe I'll just go ahead and throw it on a 2-inch scale and see how far down it goes. Very nice tree here. Looking to get some 24, maybe one 26-inch wide slab, and then maybe up here about 20-ish or so, so we'll see. The stuff that was coming off thus far, as you see, it's pretty gnarly looking. Got a lot of freaking knots and stuff like that, but I think it'll work out well. So stand by, I'll go ahead and throw in the time lapse that I did yesterday where I cut up that one pine log. I think I cut that pine log into a 12 by 16 or 12 by 18 can, I can't remember. And then of course, I've got my saw head, doors open, everything, because I've got to put a new blade on, because the blade I was running yesterday was running real slow through the last few cuts on this cedar here. So it is definitely dull. And that's one thing I was going to talk about also, is the reason I was running an old blade through cedar. This cedar tree is pretty old and everything. At some point in its long life, someone probably thought, it's a good idea, let me put a nail or fence or something to this tree. So I always like to do my initial cuts when cutting in cedar with an old blade, because cedar is the most prevalent wood that I find metal in. So without further ado, I'll throw that time lapse on, and then I'll probably do two time lapses together, and then I'll do some talking and some real live cutting. So stay tuned. Here we go. Okay folks, Mr. Robert just left. He was so kind to have sharpened up that big old stack of blades over there. I didn't realize I dropped that many blades off of him, but thank you, Mr. Robert. He He really keeps my stuff running good. And I just put a new blade on, one that was freshly sharpened by Mr. Robert. And I got to do some more videos with him in the future, going over the Cook's cat claw sharpener. He has really dialed that machine in, especially that dual tooth setter. So I'll do some videos with him at some point here, and we'll go over the fine aspects of running that sharpener. So again, we're going to go ahead and throw on a little quick time lapse as I cut through some of these, and probably save like the last 2 cuts or so, and I'll do it kind of live, you know, without any time lapse. I'm going to be cutting slow. I got to go add some more water to this, so I'm going to throw on the time lapse, and we'll get back to it. Stay tuned. Okay, so that was pretty good. The first slab here is 1.5 inches. The rest are at true 2 inches. You've never cut cedar before. It's extremely dusty because it is really dry when you cut it. A little bit of raised edge there. That might have been maybe one tooth or something like that was offset a little bit, but still very pretty piece. I will, once I get to these bigger pieces down here, I'll do a little bit better on showing you what you got. But I think these are going to be nice. Anyone looking for a crazy type of project with epoxy, or I don't know. Again, I'm going to have a whole lot. Excuse me. I mean, just beautiful slab. Almost looks like there's a nail there, but it's not. Oh, heavy slab. And the other thing was, my dog, while I was cutting this, started sneezing. And yeah, you probably should be wearing a respirator when working with cedar, just because of how fine that sawdust is. But yeah, shame on me. I'm bad about that sometimes. Oh, this gorgeous piece though. That looks really pretty with all these crazy knots here. I mean, this section right here is the hardest section to cut through, because you're hitting knot after knot after knot after knot after knot. And it's hard. It's almost like caramelized through there. But that's a pretty piece. I mean, that's a real pretty piece. It's a heavy piece too. And then the real pretty slab. The next one, I think, oh, the next one's gonna be gorgeous. Yeah, this is the more uniform shaped slab. You do have one little knot protrusion down there. I mean, but look at that. That is just gorgeous. The other side, still, I love how it's almost like a tiger pattern. You're getting like the varying levels of color and stripes through it. That sawdust is on there because my blade, I was running it a lot of moisture on it because it's so dry. I had a little, oh, that's not, I thought I had waves in the board. What it is I've got pockets of sawdust that are just building up on there. Oh yeah, these are gorgeous slabs. But this stuff is, again, because of how dry it is and how wide it is, number of knots, I'm cutting real slow. I don't want to overstress it. I could probably go a little bit faster, but I'm trying to not get a big wave in the blade. And I'm cutting these slabs again at 2 inches. 2 inches leaves it up to the customer. A lot of possibility of what they can do with these slabs. Now this slab here, that's going to be about 22 inches, excuse me, 23 inches, and that, yeah. So I'm looking at an average slab over 22 inches wide on this next cut. And I'll go ahead and keep it on right now the way it is, and we'll go through this. Now this is going to be a slow cut, I'm not going to lie. It's a slow cut. Kids, y'all go on back now, okay? I'm going to be cutting. But this is going to be a nice slow cut. I do have a little bit of soft spots over here. No? It looks soft. It's like maybe the start of it. So we'll see how this next cut goes. All right, kids, y'all move out. Now go over by the building. Again, I'm going to be running water pretty heavy. Got one knot section right here that's real close. I'm going to put a little spacer so I don't have a problem. A little spacer. Cut really well. Run the water heavy, like I said. Real heavy. Again, averages out over 22 inches. Probably more like, it could be even 23 inches, but the widest slab I think out of this is 24. Sawdust is so fine on this, and because I'm running my water kind of heavy. See, there's what I'm talking about, the soft-ish spots. Oh yeah. Gorgeous. Gorgeous piece right here. Look at that. It stands up by itself. So now I can actually see if I'm fully in frame. Not really. My bad. Back this up. So again, that's a 24-ish inch wide slab. Length on that is, I don't know, 8+ foot. It's just over 8 foot. 2 inches thick. I mean, this is gorgeous. This could be essentially like almost a computer table in itself, a little writing desk. There's so many things that this could be. And you know, I always tell people, like, you know, they always ask, like, what do you have in stock? I said, well, it's hard to explain. I mean, you really just have to come in and see for yourself. And I always say, if they come, they will buy. Because always something unique to, you know, showcase while they're here. Man, this is a gorgeous slab. Put this one over here off the side. The problem with owning your own sawmill and then cutting wood for other people or you know, displaying your wood is you find a lot of pieces that you actually like yourself, but you can't keep every single one of them. So it's kind of hard to let go. There's a few pieces I have in my barn that I've told myself I will not sell. They're for me, or there's something my wife wants. So yeah, so I have those rules. All right, so now we got to figure out what's the best course of action to do. And I've got plenty of thickness here. Think I might go for one more 2-inch slab with the, you know, known information that I'm going to be getting into a soft spot here. But everything else on this just looks freaking phenomenal. So I want to maximize what I can get out of this. I don't have a whole lot of soft spots. I've got some start of some soft areas, but I got like a little check right here, some funkiness going on there. But that's small, easy epoxy stuff. If it's an easy epoxy project, that'll sell like hotcakes. If it's a difficult epoxy project, you got to find the right buyer for that. So I think we go for one more cut in the current orientation we are. That'll leave me enough mass down here for a pretty beefy mantle. And then what I might do is come back after I take this top slab off. I still have what appears to be like 5 inches or so. Come down and split that right down the middle, which is good because I'm essentially, I guess I'm at the pith now, but you know, whatever. I'll take this off, then I'll come back and cut this right down the middle, and I might get 2 mantles along with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nice slabs at 2 inches thick. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna go and throw again a time lapse on because I'm gonna do a lot of thinking and I don't want to waste your time and my time, so we'll just do a time lapse. And then I'll talk about some other stuff, upcoming vlogs and all that good stuff. Okay, so we've made the 2 pieces here, and in fact, I may actually turn this one right here into either a 5x5 or 6x6 cant. I got to see what sizes I'm working with. I'm not exactly sure yet, because it's fat down here and narrows down there. Now this one right here, it stays pretty uniform, and again, I mean it's a pretty neat looking face. This could be like the top portion, trim up the edges, make that into a beautiful mantle. And again, it's a good call on my part. I'd like to say I made a good call. But we were starting to get some soft spots in there. So there's really nothing I could have used in either one of these without running the risk if I did like a big slab of it falling apart. So I think we got the most we can out of these ones right here. Let me show you the 2 finest specimens that came off of it. And again, they've got some sawdust on them. But take a look at those. Gorgeous. I Don't know the exact width. Like I said, I'm thinking averaging out 22, 23 inches, maxes out probably 24-ish inches, maybe a little bit more. But very happy with those turned out. And then, as you saw, the first other couple slabs that came off, we got these ones over here. Now I've got to get these organized, take some pictures to some potential customers who've been looking for some really wide cedar. I think they'll be very happy with these ones right here. So, hope this is interesting. One thing about cutting cedar, I mean, as you see right here, massive knot sections are always on them, and you never really know what you're going to get into. This is, in fact, if you saw many videos back when I actually did the mantle piece, where I had a customer ask me if I can make them a cedar mantle, pretty large shape and size and everything, and essentially cutting a tree in half and then finishing up. This was the bottom section of that tree. So I finally found a use for the other part of this log, and I'm going to turn it into these big slabs that you've seen. But all over this tree, again, gnarly, nasty tree, branches, knots, everything. It was very difficult. You had to be very careful when you put it onto the mill, because these branches and stuff will get caught up on just pieces and parts. So you got your log dog. I mean, I was hitting this with some things. You've got your toe boards. You got all sorts of things. So you really have to put the log on there in the best location to begin with and kind of minimize the turning. I only turned it once, I believe, and you'll see that in the video time lapse that I put in the beginning of all this. But yeah, I'm very happy with what came out of this. I mean, just gorgeous slabs. I mean, that's very pretty. I mean, when you start seeing all these knots here, I always, you know, I'm a big fan of that on cedar. I don't know, we'll see what we turn this into. I could make that into a bench. No, I can make that into 2 coffee tables probably, or sell it as is. It just depends. Once I get these pictures out there, people will start coming. But yeah, exciting. So like I said, things that are coming up soon. I have, well, it's hard to see in the distance over there. That is the box elder. Brain went dead for a second. That's that box elder. That box elder, when we got from Tennessee, I've got to get that sucker cut up. I have people asking left and right about that. Also, another big hunkin' cedar. If you look at that log right there, that big one right there, that's a 34 inch diameter cedar log. This center is just all crap, but I'll do a video on this where we're gonna do it cutting into cookies. So you can see how we're cutting up cookies on the cedar. And then I have a whole lot of cherries I got to pull out of the woods. I'll do some videos with the side-by-side pulling those out. I've already done the videos of that, but I need to do the, you know, full up round. Okay, not only did I pull it out with the side-by-side and the four-wheeler, and then got over here with the tractor, and I cut it up on the sawmill. So kind of like the full picture of how we do things here on the farm. And then the heat is definitely here. One of the things I'm kind of worried about, and I'm kind of scrambling right here, I've got 7 of 10 pieces of tin up. I only bought the first half of the tin that I need for this building. I need to get the hurricane straps on there, because if you live in the Gulf area, anywhere in the Gulf Coast, you'll know, well, if you looked at the news today, Mike's weather page, spaghettimodels.com, we have a 20% chance of something developing in the next week or so. And if you look at the temperatures of the Gulf, we are going to most likely get some kind of storm. So, huzzah, got to make sure that my building can withstand hurricane force winds, or at least tropical storm winds. We'll see from there. Been pretty lucky thus far, but stay tuned, lots more to come. I hope you're enjoying this. Please like and subscribe, and if you want to comment, I always enjoy seeing some of the comments and everything. And I had a comment yesterday, someone asked about some goats, so I got to do some more stuff on the goats. So y'all stay tuned, we'll see you around. Thanks.